guys, and welcome to reading vlog number 34 of 2022. We are starting the vlog quite late today. It is 8:23 p.m. and it is Saturday, August 20th, 2022, but the last vlog took 6 hours to export, so I couldn't film because it was connected to my camera. And obviously I don't want to do iPhone footage. I don't like doing iPhone footage. I have finished a book today. I finished Funny You Should Ask. I haven't read my review yet. I am about to do that and then I'll read you my review, but 4-star. And I did get some book mail today. So I got Afterlives by Abdul Razak Gurna. And this was the Nobel Prize for 2021. So I thought this was a new release actually, because I saw it listed on a new release list, but it's not a new release. It's just new release to the United States. Something interesting, I've never seen this before. It says for sale in the Indian subcontinent only. Never seen that. So it says when he was still a little boy, Ilyas was stolen from his parents by the German colonial troops after years away. Okay, he returns to his village to find his parents gone and his sister I've given away. So my apologies on pronunciation. I don't know if this is an Indian story or if it takes place in somewhere else. I'm seeing several names of countries as I flip through, but I just thought it seemed like something that I would like. So this is a potential mood read because it is quite short. It's less than 300 pages. So if y'all think I should read that book this week, tell me in the comments, because as this past reading vlog is uploading right now, in the comments I'll know. I highly doubt people are going to comment which book I should read next, which I do have my choice if nobody comments saying which I should read next, and that will be Lady Sunshine by Amy Mason Doan. This is like a 70s one, but I'll read y'all the description if this turns out to be the book we start tomorrow. So I read 85 pages in Funny You Should Ask today, so I want to read about 15 more pages today. So I'm just going to read 5% in Voyager by Dana Gabaldon. Sorry, my mouth is like dry right now, so because I was just watching Stranger Things for like an hour and a half, so I didn't have. We will be reading to I think 90% in here, so we are close to finishing this, and then I'll have to find an ebook, which if y'all saw, nobody voted on my poll for which ebook I should read next. So this is the first time this ever happened. People have always voted on my ebook polls, like multiple people, but 60 some people viewed my story and nobody voted, and I'm still kind of mad about that. But I'm gonna write my review right now and then talk to y'all after. Time for my review. I will admit it is a long one. I did not expect to have so many thoughts, but I did. So these characters act like the adults that they are. They are intelligent and talk out their feelings rather than being petty to each other, and that's something so rare for romance books, for characters to act their age and not like teenagers. We go between Los Angeles and small town Montana. Here, this will be a delight for people who like the big city or small town setting. This is the most well-written romance book that I've read this year. It is immersive and filled with metaphors and other literary devices. I cannot wait to see what else Alyssa Sussman writes. However, at times it did get repetitive with certain bits of dialogue. I got confused with some of the time jumps. It does say when there is one, but there's not a big difference between the two. So I was scared that the added bits of articles and blog posts would take away from the story, but then I thought they actually add depth to the characters as we see what the outside world thinks of them and how that might impact their mentality. The plot was an interesting one, as it takes the trope of a non-famous person dating a celebrity, but it does more than that. We see the dynamics of sexism in Hollywood and the media, as Gabe is an actor and Chania is a journalist. It really dives into how these lifestyles can impact a person's mental health. Really interesting topics were put on page here, and other writers should take note. Well, I'm having issues with the Wi-Fi again. It's so odd. It always works on weekdays and never on weekends. My theory is just because so many people are home. Like in the neighborhood, people aren't at school, they're not at work. It's the weekend, you know? So that's my theory. And then at nighttime, which I think that makes sense. Like this time, the 8 and 9 o'clock hour, because I mean, if you think about it, that's when shows usually air. Oh, please God, work tomorrow when I'm watching House of Dragon. But this is usually around the time when people are watching shows and that kind of thing, so streaming obviously does hinder. So I read 1% of this so far. We have a lot of interesting talks happening of how do these people time travel, and why does it work for some people and not for others. And I think that's a question that we're not really going to get answered to the last book, but I mean obviously these convos, chats between characters are super interesting. So I have this much more of the book to read, not a lot more. So alright, I'm gonna read a little bit more, but my dad made me restart the Wi-Fi for only not to work after restarting. So it is almost my bath time, so I will be doing that at 9:30, but I did want to watch some booktube in between, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening since there's no Wi-Fi, so I'm just going to get back to reading. And earlier I said I was starting on page 745, it's actually 789. I hadn't updated Goodreads, but in the book I had it on the page I was on, but just on the computer I didn't. Right time I finished that clip, it starts working again. So another thing is I am trying to upload this week's vlog, as y'all know, and I know that does hog the Wi-Fi, so maybe that was playing a part into it, but hopefully that gets back to uploading, because this vlog, it's 5 minutes shorter than last week's, but it's still over an hour long. I don't like to film that long, but here I am making this vlog even longer. Hey guys, and happy Sunday. So it is about 2:52, so I am about to eat some lunch of Chef Boyardee. What was that? I think it was the dog food going into the dish, but okay. So I went to my grandma's house, and then, sorry that's really loud, I had to pick up a few things like cat food at the grocery store. So I just got back from there, and I went to Food Lion today in Darlington, which is a smaller town, like way smaller, and it was so peaceful. And they didn't have music playing either, so I don't know, maybe music plays into it as well, but it was just so peaceful and I had a great time. But nobody has commented on last week's vlog pertaining to what my next mood read should be, so we're just gonna go with the next one that was in the stack, and it is Lady Sunshine by Amy Mason Doan. 20 years later, Jackie unexpectedly inherits the sandcastle and returns to the iconic estate for a short visit to ready it for sale, but she reluctantly extends her stay when she learns that before her death, her estranged aunt had promised an up-and-coming producer he could record a tribute album to her late uncle at the property's studio. As her musical guests bring the place to life, again with their sun-drenched beach days and late-night bonfires, Jackie begins to notice startling parallels to that summer long ago. And when a piece of the past resurfaces and sparks new questions about Willa's disappearance, Jackie must discover the dark secret she's kept ever since is even true at all. So we're going between the 70s and the 90s in here, and Ellen Hildebrand, who is an autobiography author for me, blurbed it, and then I don't know the other two authors who have. So we read 130 pages yesterday. I don't know if I told y'all that, because I think it was when I was already in bed when I got to that. So yes, so I'm going to eat my lunch and probably read at the same time. I did that yesterday and it worked well for me. So, and we are going to be watching 2 episodes of Stranger Things today, episode 5 and episode 6 of season 4. And then at 9, House of Dragons premieres on HBO. So usually, like with Euphoria, I would watch at 10 because I get my shower at 9:30. And I told my dad earlier, I operate like a Swiss train conductor. Everything has to be at certain times. Like, I have a strict routine. I don't like to go off the routine. So I don't know. And I don't know how many episodes there are of the season of House of Dragons. So that should be interesting. And actually, this is a show where I've read the book first before seeing it. So that's going to be interesting, because usually it's the other way around, or I read simultaneously with the show coming out. So this is the first time I've read Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. Really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I vlogged it in Vlogmas because I read heavy fantasy in December. So I think I did vlog it in whatever year that book came out. Was it 2019? So I really like the TV version of the book cover, but I'm like, I don't need to buy a book that I already own, but it is really nice to see it at Target a lot, so do recommend it. But I am going to go do everything now. I'm about to go watch Stranger Things, but I did get 48 pages read. So I'm liking the setting. It's Humboldt, I hope I'm saying that right, County, California, which is, that part of California really fascinates me. I don't think I've been in that area. I'm not sure, because counties out west are really big. I've driven the 5 from Oregon to San Francisco, so not sure. It's the area north of San Francisco. It can be like hours north, like 5 hours. And it's just very Pacific Northwest vibes, very desolate. There's not a lot out there. And that is where this estate is. And obviously this is the 70s. It seems like the uncle is like a folk singer, probably in the 60s. And it's just a big bohemian kind of area right on the cliffs of the Pacific Ocean, which, can I live there? Like, that sounds perfect. So I just think that setting is a really interesting one because I haven't read anything set there, but I've read Wikipedia pages for just cities that I see on Google Maps that are in this area because it just fascinates me because it's so different from here. Obviously, it's like 3,000 miles away and all of that. So there's my update. I'm going to go watch Stranger Things season 4, episode 5 now. Episode 5 was definitely better the second time around. I think it might be the best episode of the season, but I should say I have not rewatched the last 2 episodes, one because they're like feature length, like 2 hours long, and I honestly just have not had time to do that because that is a lot of time to give. So just wanted to say I do like 5th episode so far. The first episode's my favorite because I give me that slice of life 80s where nobody's really having like serious issues, like paranormal issues. I love slice of life 80s. Historical fiction's my favorite. We all know that. I read 2 chapters, so it's over 50 pages now. I'm page 59, but I'm tired. I'm gonna try to take a nap, but I highly doubt that I'll actually be able to sleep any. So it's 5:50 right now, and the next episode of Stranger Things we're gonna watch at 7, and then I told you I have Game of Thrones. That's not Game of Thrones, but at 9. I think this is gonna combine like a lot of genres in a way. Historical fiction, obviously, because we are in 1979 for the majority of the plot. On Goodreads, it is listed as historical fiction, but there's also romance listed. I don't know who the love interest is going to be. At least, I don't know about in 1979. In 1999, I have kind of an idea. And then something happens to Willa, who is Jacqueline. Is it Jackie? Okay, Jackie, her cousin. Something happens to Willow. We don't know what. Thriller aspects there. Lots of genres, 3 genres going together there. So I like think that's fun. I almost said funny, but fun to combine genres. It only just gives us a fun time. So I'm gonna try to nap and then eat some dinner after that because I am eating my dinner earlier since Stranger Things time is going into my usual eat dinner times. What is happening there? I did end up watching the next episode of Stranger Things. That ending. My favorite man. We should clarify, not favorite character altogether. I decided what I'm gonna do with House of Dragon. So I'm gonna do like what I did with Euphoria. And with Euphoria, it was just because I was like, I don't need people walking in with this. You never know what this show's gonna do. But with this, it's more I will still get to read in the 9 o'clock hour, still get to take my shower in the 9 o'clock hour, and then watch House of Dragons at 10. So I'll be watching it when all the Central Time Zone people are watching it. That's the plan. We're gonna watch it on my iPad. Again, I'm not sure if I have HBO on the TV, and I honestly don't feel like flipping through all of those channels. But yeah, I really need a shower because I didn't get one Thursday. Y'all can hear all that drama in last week's vlog, so my hair needs it, so it's not like I could just skip out on a shower today. Trust me, I thought about it, but I'm sure taking a shower will wake me up more because, as I said, I am sleepy. I didn't get that nap earlier. So I'm gonna get into chapter 8 here, which is page 71. Okay, so I read 106 pages in here, and Fred totally jumped in this chair with me in it. He has not done that in a long time. We read over 100 pages, so I'm super happy about that. That means we're not gonna get to Voyager today, so let's see what percent we're at. 106 out of 368 is 29%. So we read over a quarter of it today, which is quite impressive, and I did not think I would be able to do that. But the transitions between like the different time periods and just between chapters in general are very well done, I will say that. But I'm just gonna 3-star vibe from this. I'm enjoying it, but it's not the best thing I've ever read. I'm not loving it. It's not a new favorite, so that puts it at a 3 stars, and I like it. It's fine. So nothing wrong with it. Obviously, I'm reading it super fast. As I told you, I've already read over a quarter today. It's just not extremely standing out, but it does obviously have that nostalgic feel that most coming of age stories do, and that's why I love coming of age stories. I discovered that with the movie Almost Famous, which is one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. It did get bumped back to 3rd place, but that's besides the point. Maybe I should do a video on my like favorite movies. I don't know, would y'all like that? But yes, so it does have kind of those similar vibes, being in the 70s, being young, being a teenager, growing up around music and California and that lifestyle, which is very, like, I wasn't there, but it's nostalgic in a way. I don't remember the correct word for that. I've seen the word for it before. That might just be a made-up Tumblr word. I don't know, but just feeling nostalgic for that time period and being like, I wish I could have lived during that and lived this bohemian free lifestyle. But that is all for Monday, or for Sunday. I'll see y'all on Monday and we will discuss how I feel about House of Dragons, because I'm gonna watch it in about 25 minutes now. So the first episode is airing right now. I know I'm not watching it right time it airs, but I'm like, it is okay. With Game of Thrones, I did watch the episodes right time they aired, but that's just a whole different anticipation. Like with Euphoria, I didn't do it, so it's okay. It's hey guys, okay. And happy Monday. So I'm about to do the thing where I read for like an hour. Like, this is something I just started doing in August, so I can get the same amount of reading done on Monday that I do in other days. So we are about to start a book, but I do want to talk about House of the Dragon. I only thought it was House of Dragon. I personally think that sounds better, but apparently it is House of the Dragon. I don't know if this is a Mandela effect or if it was just my mind thinking what I think sounds better, but so as I said yesterday, this is one of the first times in a really long time, probably in like 10 years, where, no, Divergent would have been the last one, but this is the first time in a long time where I've read the book before seeing the show, film, whatever. So that is just so interesting. Like, I'm like, I know what happens, and that's so satisfying, but at the same time, it's like, how are they going to change it? This was TV at its absolute finest. I loved it. It was amazing. Might be one of the best things, if not the best, that I've seen this year. HBO has never really disappointed me. Obviously, Game of Thrones season 8 didn't end how I would have wanted it to, but if we think about the whole overall experience, the show is my favorite show. It didn't disappoint. Like altogether, it doesn't disappoint me. The book Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin is basically a history. It is fiction. It's like a fictionist non-fiction, or a non-fiction but fiction. Like, it's combining those two. So it's like somebody who is writing down the history of the Targaryen family. So obviously we're seeing it from a historian's perspective rather than the people who are actually being written about. But on the show, is obviously there is a narrator, or at least for like the first scene there was a narrator, which is something that I found this year that I like. We see it in Euphoria, we see it in Narcos. I like having a narrator. Don't know where that came from, but I do like it. The actions be acted out by the people behind it, and maybe seeing why they did what they did and all of that. So I think it's going to be a really interesting character study. Obviously, I do think Game of Thrones did a great job with character development and that kind of thing, and I think a lot of those characters are very well written, and hopefully that does transfer to House of Dragon as well. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to see this because Game of Thrones and it's so bad. Like, this is different writers. It's not D&D or whatever their names were. These are different writers, and you have to think with Game of Thrones, they did not have all of the source material because A Song of Ice and Fire as a series is not complete. But Fire and Blood is a complete book. The whole book is written. They have complete source material, so they have George R. R. Martin to rely on this whole time. And this, I don't think this show is going to be as long as Game of Thrones anyway, but they do have a full source material, so they know they don't have to go off script or whatever with that. But let's get into what book we are starting today. So we're going into our historical fiction pick of the month, and that is Mrs. Everything by Jennifer Weiner. This feels really thick, but it's a hardback. Yeah, it's 464 pages. It goes all the way to 2022. Obviously, they do not know a pandemic happened when this book was published, because this did come out a few years ago. Let's see what year this was published. Yeah, 2019. But the truth ends up looking different from what the girls imagined. Joe and Bethy survive traumas and tragedies as their lives unfold against the background of free love, Vietnam, Woodstock, and women's lib. Bethy becomes an adventure-loving wild child who dives headlong into the counterculture and is up for anything except settling down. Meanwhile, Joe becomes a proper young mother in Connecticut, a witness to the changing world instead of a participant. Neither woman inhabits the world she dreams of, nor has a life that feels authentic or brings her joy. Is it too late for the woman to finally stake a claim on happily ever after? Ooh, those are interesting dynamics there. So I am going to start this, and then I'll probably update y'all after I film my sit-down video for the day, which I am struggling. There used to be a really nice list that I cannot find anywhere. I thought I had the link saved, like I thought I saved it back in 2018, the list of all the canon and legend Star Wars books. Cannot find that list anywhere because I'm going to be ranking the Old Republic books. So I'm going to have to find, or I'm going to have to use a different list, and I just haven't found a great one. I only got 20 pages in, so I literally can't say much, but our characters are, this is our like second book in a row with Jewish characters, which is interesting. Another diverse read. I wasn't sure if that counted as diverse or not, but now that I'm thinking diverse means different than you, I'm not Jewish, so they're diverse, the past two books. But comparing these two books should be interesting, as this is in the 1950s in Detroit, when our last book was in 2016 and 2006 in Los Angeles. So obviously this is coming fresh out of World War II. The character's grandparents, and maybe her mom, I'm a little confused by that, or immigrants from Russia, and it's just has showed like the anti-Semitism that they have experienced in school and whatnot, at least the mom when she was a kid, and then Joe when she was a kid. Bethy is not in school yet. It starts out when they're 5 and 6. Well, we have a prologue that's in 2015, then we jump back to 1950, and Joe is 6 and Bethy is 5. I don't know a lot about what it was like being Jewish in this time period, so that should be interesting. And a lot of books that I've read where the characters are Jewish have been set in Europe, not in the US. Again, should be interesting. And then, as I said, the dynamics of this, of just how feminism was really rising in their youth with the 1960s and 1970s, of how they go down different paths. One goes into like the wild flower child counterculture movement, and the other becomes like the perfect housewife kind of thing. And I think those are really two that you see most often portrayed, but it should be interesting since these are two sisters. How does that go against each other, or do they stay, or are they still close, and all that. This is really reminding me of Ellen Hilderbrand, which I don't see she blurbed it or anything, but it's just giving me those kind of similar vibes with the writing style and everything. Maybe if you like Ellen Hilderbrand, you might want to pick this up. I just got finished filming the video for the week, my Star Wars like ranking books, and I am so sweaty and disgusting because I was using my favorite hair product ever, totally still recommend, but it is the Revlon, like it's like a hair dryer, but like a round brush. I don't know what you call that, but it did my bangs so nice. I'm really happy with how my bangs turned out. But yeah, that's my all-time favorite hair thing out of any shampoo, anything. It's what I recommend, and I know a ton of people recommend. One of the best gifts I've ever received, but not the best because Penny's the best. But I also filmed a lot of reels for Instagram, so hopefully I haven't had one get over 1,000 views in a while, so hopefully some of these will get up in the algorithm. I'm probably gonna read a little bit more because I still have, it's only 3:30 because I only did eye makeup today, like I only did eyeshadow. So I have a while before I'm going to go and get lunch. Well, I say a while, but only like 20 minutes. But I am like all set. I did everything that I needed to do, which I'm super happy about. Literally every night before a like work day, I always pray to God. I'm like, let me get done everything that I want to get done. And I did. I'm happy about that. I want to get 100 pages read today. I have 80 more, so that is completely doable. I am going to read a little bit more here until I go and pick up some lunch. Again, I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A. Hopefully they do better than they did on Monday last week, because the chicken nugget was literally black. So I was like, I don't know if I should eat the rest of this. Like, I don't want to be eating rotten chicken. We can hope for better quality today. Their quality on Saturday was pretty good, so I can't really complain. But yeah, this sweatshirt that I'm wearing is from Target, and I did get it in a size medium, and I love the fit of it being a medium. I think this is kind of, I don't know, ooh yeah, I got something on it. I got something on it. My grandma's gonna hate when I put this in the wash because they take forever to dry. Yeah, so this is another spring color palette. Y'all, I thought it was a spring, and then the people on Reddit think it's good for spring as well. So I do think that I do look really nice in it, and yeah, I like it a lot. Glad that I chose that. I have one more Target purchase that I still need to wear out of my spring kind of collection that I did. I didn't design these pieces. This is by Another Day, A New Day. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, so I'm gonna get into reading and stop rambling. Hey guys, so it is 6 o'clock, so we're about to get into that reading hour, starting on page 31. So I did edit an ASMR video that will go up in like 2 weeks. Can't upload it though right now because of course the Wi-Fi is out. And then I started editing tomorrow's video, which y'all would have already seen. So that one, I have about 2 more minutes of editing to do, but it is time to read now. So that's what I'm going to do after I restart the Wi-Fi. The hair, this one likes the hair. But it is 7:35. We had a very like long chapter, 26 pages I think it was. So obviously that's way too long for me, but I do have thoughts to tell y'all. One, this book is a lot like deeper and darker than I thought it would be. I mean, this cover just makes it look light and everything, but we do have to remember this did come out 3 years ago. The world was completely different back then, book covers were different back then. Definitely do look into the trigger warnings for this book because there are dark topics that it is touching on. There's long-winded paragraphs, which in the long scheme of things, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but sometimes I see that and I'm like, I don't want to read it. With the title being Mrs. Everything, it made me think that as a woman, you don't have to fit in one mold. I think that's something that the 2 characters were seeing, especially when they were younger. You're either like a tomboy or girly girl. You have to fit in one of those molds, but that's not true. Like, I play video games, do other stuff, I watch sports, but I still like to do makeup, hair, fashion, all of that. So like, no, you don't have to fit in one mold, and there are more molds than just those 2. I think years would be useful put on top, like before the chapter. Like the first chapter did, the prologue did, and then the first chapter did, but after that it's like Bethy's now 11, so I'm like, okay, the first chapter she was 5 and that was 1950, so if she's 11 it's gonna be in this year. Like, I have to know those things. I'm just calculating it in my head, and I just think it'd be a whole lot easier if they were listed. But yes, Jo is probably my favorite character, but I am feeling for Bethy. She's going, or in that chapter she did go through something very difficult, and I can't help but feel for her. So yeah, we're getting a lot of character study here, which is one of my favorite things in books, just seeing how the human mind works and people's life experiences. It's one of my favorite parts of reading. But I'm going to go have dinner now, a little late, but it's 9 o'clock and time to read again. We will be starting on page 79 and hopefully get into page 100. We are gonna get to page 100 tonight, like it's guaranteed. But I also wanted to say Top Gun Maverick goes on Amazon at midnight, so I am super excited because I've really been wanting to rewatch, but obviously not spend the money they spend at a movie theater, and also not wanting to have the anxiety that I have at a movie theater. So I am very excited to be able to finally rewatch it. I've only seen it the once, and I'm somebody who I rewatch. I never finished that Elvis movie though. It's bad, but I will finish it one day. I own it. I'll finish it, don't worry. So we are done reading for the day. I got to where I wanted to, which is 24%, which is page 101. The goal is to read 93 pages each day since the chapters don't have numbers. So I basically like this chapter ended on page 100, so I just rounded it up to 100. So tomorrow I want to get to page 193. But yeah, there are a lot of dark topics, but both of these characters are going through it. With Jo's character, it's more mentally, and then with Bethy's character, it started out, she went through a traumatic event, and then that started affecting her physically, and then that led to mentally, which then led to physical again. It's almost, so this is a hard read, and there are a ton of trigger warnings, so I know this book would trigger some, so definitely look up a list of the triggers for this book. Again, it's Mrs. Everything by Jennifer Weiner. Yes, this is, I didn't expect, again, because it said like chick lit and all this stuff, I did not expect it to be this deep. There's just, again, how I told you, I love seeing how the human mind works and different people's experiences with life, and I am definitely getting that here. So we are about a quarter of the way into it, so it's like a 4-star right now, but this definitely has 5-star potential, because as I said, it is very much the kind of book that I like to see different people's life experiences. That is all for Monday. I hope you guys had a happy Monday, and I will see you tomorrow on Tuesday. Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. I can't wait to get into reading just because I want to know what's gonna happen in here. I'm fascinated. Even one of my Goodreads friends said it might be their all-time favorite book, so that's pretty cool. But we did get some serious book mail today. One of my anticipated books of the year, most anticipated books of the year, and that is Babel, An Arcane History by R.F. Kuang. Obviously award-winning author of the Poppy War trilogy. Love the Poppy War trilogy. I finished it out this year, so now I have a new, I don't know if this is a standalone or a series or what. From the award-winning author R.F. Kuang comes Babel, a historical fantasy epic that grapples with student revolutions, colonial resistance, and the use of language and translation as the dominating tool of the British Empire. An act of translation is always an act of betrayal. So can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution only require violence? Ooh, important questions there. So I will be doing the audiobook for this at some point, as it is over 500 pages, and her other books I did the audiobooks for. I mean, I might do ebook for, but ebook or audiobook is what we'll do. Like 6 hours later, I'm back. I definitely have read today. I have about 10 more pages to read today for the 9 o'clock reading hour. The chapters are just very long, which today I'm just very tired because I don't know what I talked about. I stayed up till midnight for Top Gun, Maverick, and then watched the whole movie. So I didn't go to bed till like 3, which is late for me. They used to be early for me, but now I'm old. Not really, but I stopped watching that, so I've been really sleepy today. But I went and got Mexican food. That was so good. I've been wanting it for weeks, and I finally went and got some, and it was amazing. I'm really wanting soda though, but my one soda day a week's tomorrow, so I can hold over. But yeah, I wanted to update y'all since it's been a long while, and then I need to tell y'all about books releasing in the month of August. Let's get that here. We have Treacle Walker by Alan Garner, which is historical fiction, and that is it's on the long list for the Booker Prize, and that's how I discovered it. And then we have News of the Dead by it looks like James, but I'm assuming it's James Robertson, which is a historical fiction, and I don't remember what that's about, but those are 2 new releases in August. Hey guys. We are about to start reading on this fine Wednesday. You're a little crooked there. Dang, that's good. That face though. So we are about to start reading, and I've been disappointed in my booktube watching this week. I just feel like I haven't watched that much. I started one video and it just went on and on and on, and it was by one of my favorite people, but I was just like, I'm not interested in any of these books, so I am not wanting to watch it. That was an issue. So now I am going to watch. I had a nice nap for like the whole 1 o'clock hour. It wasn't nice. Like, you know when you sleep, quote, because I don't know if I'm actually sleeping or not, like you're dreaming, but you can also hear the world around you at the same time. I hate that, and that's what was happening. We're going to get into reading starting on page 209 today. So I got to 50% last night, which is right there. And that was 108 pages, so our most pages read in a day. And I think today for this book is going to be the least, so we are probably going to pick up I'm gonna say probably Outlander, but I mean we might end up picking up Lady Sunshine, but I think it's gonna be at nighttime, so I think it's gonna be Outlander. But I will talk to y'all once I'm done reading, and we will be going to Target. Can't wait, because as I said, I have been sleepy, so I really need that caffeine boost, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so we were done with these sprints, and that was all of part 2 of the book. So our next part's all the way in 1974, which is I think our biggest time skip yet. So I'm on page 240 something. I get confused when it's like those part pages. It's something that I find super interesting, something that I never really thought of before. I know it's probably bad that I haven't thought of it. So one of our characters, I don't like labeling sexualities when it's not for sure written, but I'm gonna say she's a lesbian. It's just fascinating to see the struggles that people in the LGBT community had to go through back then, even though, I mean, that isn't even that long ago. It's only 60 years ago, a little less than that actually, so let's say 55 years ago. And just see, yeah, obviously people still go through struggles, but I feel like back then obviously it was more, the world wasn't as accepting as it is now, and just a lot of things that I never really thought of what somebody would have to go through. Very interesting to learn about, read about. So I am going to go to Target now. Well, I need to get dressed, and then I'm gonna head out to Target. Hopefully we do get to go in the book section this time, because last time I didn't, because there were just all these teenagers coughing all over the aisle, and I was like, yep, not messing with that. So hopefully, because there are a lot of good releases this week, but I cannot find the article that I saw that listed them, or else I would read it to y'all, but I'll probably find that article again like tomorrow when I'm not going to Target. We are back from Target, and we didn't buy any books, but I bought a lot of other stuff that I probably don't need. I was looking, and it just reminded me of like Jennifer's Body, Megan Fox, you know, that kind of thing. So first we have the skirt. Not 100% sure if this will fit me. I saw this thing. Let's see. I'm gonna do this in the store. Ooh, it might be a little tight then. If like it can go around your neck, then it fits. Got it in a size 2, but I think that's gonna be too small. But I'd rather it be too small than too big. That's just my personal thing. This is personal preference. So it just says 03, and then has a butterfly, and then out of this world, just patches on it. Pockets. We love when things have pockets, because I never put my phone in my purse. I always have it like under my arm or in a pocket, but like today I didn't have pockets, so it was just under my arm. And okay, so the shirt I got to go with it, and what they had like paired with it in the store. This, I got an extra small, which again, this looks like very small, but the colors, at least I know this side goes good with my color palette. This was expensive, $26, but Wild Fable is one of my favorite Target brands. But yeah, they had so many fall clothes out, and I'm like, I want it all. But then for the dollar spot, yeah, Dollar Spot's starting to get Halloween stuff. They still had a lot of it, but this was the only one I saw like this, and this is just perfect for what I like for Halloween. It's just this little jack-o'-lantern, and then it does light up, but I haven't pulled that thing out yet because I don't want to do it till I actually need to. So it was for $5, ceramic light up pumpkin, only $5 for this. That is a super good deal. That gold painted top there, or stem. But yeah, I really, really like this. I used to have one that you'd actually put a candle in, but in a hurricane it got broken, so this is perfect to like replace that. I still have the one, but the top is what got broken, so water just gets into it and all that. It's gross. I am going to put out next week for September and just have it facing this way, and then in October, or like last week of September, I'll turn it around to have this for Halloween, and then turn it back around for November. But yeah, so that's what I got at Target. I do like my purchases, but yeah, didn't get any books. There were people in the book out, but this time thankfully they had masks on, but I just didn't see any that I really absolutely wanted. I saw by the author that we're currently reading, and I saw some other things I might be interested in, but just none that I felt like spending money on right now, because I already knew I was buying a whole outfit. But yeah, so I will check in with y'all like in an hour when we start reading again. Hey guys, so it is 6 o'clock now. I just got back from PetSmart because Delilah's room is getting cleaned, and we realized that she didn't pee on the bed, but she must have peed on the floor and it went under the bed, so therefore ruining the bed. Bought her a new bed, which they were like $50 more expensive at PetSmart, literally $80 for a dog bed, which is insane. On Amazon they were like $25, $30, but she obviously needs somewhere to sleep tonight, so it would just be, so we bought one today. But and then we got a toy on the like end cap when you're checking out, because that girl loves to chew and needs shoe toys. She has shoe toys, but you can never have too many, right? And PetSmart had all their Halloween stuff out. I took pictures to post on the Halloween subreddit, so code orange at PetSmart big time. So we're gonna get back into this. I think we're on like page 245 or something, and I want to get to page 304 today. So I still have about 20 more pages that I need to read today, which I think I'm gonna do sometime before 9 because I just want to get all this read, and then I can get into Lady Sunshine tonight as well. But I do have talking points to talk about. I'm currently in the middle of a chapter on page 280 just because this chapter is like 30 pages and I just didn't have enough time to finish it before dinner. This is a cycle of how mental and physical health impact each other. Just from personally what I've gone through and am going through, and then in the book how we see the characters, particularly, I can't say that word, but Bethy. I definitely, and that leads us into our next point, I definitely relate more to Bethy, but I'm going to say that on like a low level before people think like terrible things like what she's gone through has happened to me, because no, you feel like you're kind of a disappointment sometimes, that you maybe don't live up to people's expectations, which now I don't think about as much as I used to. Like when I first graduated high school, I didn't go to college, and I would be like, and even in high school I'd be like, oh my gosh, like they probably care that I'm not popular, like they wish I was popular, that kind of thing. And then, as I said, not going to college, I felt kind of like I was being a disappointment, but I was like, I'm doing what I want to do, I'm not letting other people control my life, kind of thing. But you still had that kind of feeling of like, you care about what your family thinks and what people around you think. That's just part of being human. You can say you don't care, but there's always going to be a tiny part of you that does care. Now, the majority, I really don't care. But there is obviously, as I said, always going to be that small part, being human, where you are going to care about society and all of that. But that being said, as I said, I relate more to Bethy on that side of things, but I prefer reading Joe's chapters. I just find it, because Bethy is a free spirit, you know, traveling the world, and now she's living on a commune and all of that. And then we have Joe, who is a lesbian married to a man and being like the perfect housewife and all. I just find that story so much more interesting, because we see a lot of stories in fiction about the flower child, like Daisy Jones and the Six is one I can think of, like being on that spectrum. But the other, just being a lesbian in the 1950s, 60s, now we're in the 70s, and being married to a man and living a lie kind of, but not really being sad about it. Like, she loves the life that she has, but there's obviously, she's not being her true self. I just find that really fascinating and interesting to read, because I haven't read anything like that before. Another point I have here is just the different forms of feminism I see on Twitter, which obviously Twitter is a hellhole. There's a lot of different opinions on Twitter. I feel like Twitter is really the social media that is both extremes, left and right, going with each other. Whereas Facebook, I feel, is mainly right, conservative. Even Twitter, I mean, I feel like Twitter is liberal, but at the same time, I see a lot of conservative stuff as well. But I feel like Twitter, you have both going against each other. And you see a lot of things, people being like, talking about white women feminism versus black women feminism, and just, or maybe being like somebody LGBT feminism going against somebody who is heterosexual, that kind of thing. There's a lot of people just going against each other, and that we are seeing kind of how these characters are both in very different paths. As I said, one is a free spirit, one is a housewife, and just how there are different forms of feminism. but you are all wanting the same goal. Hopefully you should be. And I think that's a really interesting discussion, and just what feminism means to different people. And it's something that I see a lot today in our current times. And then this book in 1974, we're seeing it. So it's just an interesting talking point. This book has so many interesting talking points. It'd be great for a book club pick. But again, I will say we did have a lot more like triggering subjects today. So definitely do look into the trigger warnings before picking up this book. I ended up reading 95 pages. And oh my gosh, I'm emotional anyway. If you didn't know, this is like the anniversary of Max passing away. I cried because of that. And then in here, those chapter, it made me emotional, especially like the last paragraph. Like in a way, I wish I was annotating this. I'm gonna say the writing is fine. Like it's not the best writing I've ever read, but it's not bad at all. But still, there's some paragraphs where I'm just like, oh my gosh, where you can maybe relate to so much, or just the feeling of it. I don't know, the emotion of it, but it might just be because I'm emotional right now. I don't know. So I need to put in here what page I'm on, which was, let's see, I don't even know, 304, and then see how many pages I have to read tomorrow, which we're probably gonna finish tomorrow. So I read 70, or I'm at 73% now. So let's see, I'm reading 93 pages a day, so that should be 397, but I'll probably just, you know, go ahead and finish it because on Goodreads it says there's only 416 pages, and in my physical copy there's like 470, so maybe we won't be finishing it in this vlog, which kind of sucks because in August has been so nice. I've been finishing my TBR books. Like I'll start it in the vlog and finish it in the vlog, which is so satisfying, but it's looking like that's not going to happen this time around. But I am going to get into this because I want to read at least 5 more pages a day, and the chapters in here are super short. So okay, another thing about this reads super YA now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know if it's just because I'm reading a really dense book right now, but I mean the characters in the flashbacks, they're like 17, and I feel like those flashbacks are taking up the majority of the story. A quick check-in, I updated the version I'm on, so I'm at 65% versus the 73%, which still I'm not sure that's right, but according to Goodreads, with updating to a version of 466 pages, that is where I'm at. So I don't know if we'll finish it tomorrow. I don't think so, because tomorrow is the Stranger Things day. So hopefully I finish it on Friday. So I ended up reading 105 pages today. I'm putting in what page I'm on Goodreads. So I'm just gonna give you all like my midweek wrap up. Let me get this book. So in here, it misses everything. I am on page 304 at 65%. And Lady Sunshine, I have read 117 pages, which puts me at 32%. In Voyager, I have read 834 pages. I'm at 96%. So that's my midweek wrap up. I will see y'all tomorrow on Thursday. I totally left out a part. So for my 2022 reading challenge, so far this year, I've completed 66 books. So I am 15 books ahead of schedule. So my goal is 80 books. So therefore I am 83% of the way to my reading goal. Once again, I'll see y'all. So it is Thursday and it is 1:56. So basically during the day today, I am trying to get as much reading done as possible since I'm going to be watching Stranger. So we started on page 304 today, and I'm currently on 326. So I've read over 20 pages so far, which I think is about 3 chapters or 2 chapters maybe. We're about to go into the 3rd chapter. So I have done a lot today. I did my normal cleaning, the Swiffer duster, spraying on the furniture, you know, like the wood furniture, that kind of thing, which I do every Thursday. And then I even went to all the clothes that I have sitting on the floor in my studio room because I have a dresser that hasn't been built. It's very sad. I've had it sitting here since 2018 maybe, and it's just never been built. That's there, and so I just have clothes all over the floor. So I went through a lot of them, and did I leave my... I did leave that in there. The thing, my fan to show my color swatches, I was using that. It didn't really make a big difference. Yeah, I have a whole trash bag full of clothes to donate and 1 pair of heels, and then there was a pair of sunglasses and then earrings. So that's all the stuff I'm getting rid of. Next week I'm probably gonna do more of a deep dive of things I have in my closet, just getting rid of stuff. But yeah, I started cleaning in my bathroom, which because I have a pile of clothes in there as well. I know I'm gonna clean, because I know I'm deep cleaning my bathroom a week from today, because I do, or a week on the first Tuesday of September. So I just wanted to get ahead of schedule. But we did get some book mail today, and that is My Government Means to Kill Me by Rashid Newson. Sorry, that's really similar to one of my like surnames, so I almost said the wrong thing. But this is like right at my alley, and it's super short, so I mean it is a possibility that we could get to it this month, but as we are nearing the end of the month, like 5 more days of the month, I don't think we're gonna get to it. A fierce and riveting queer coming-of-age story following the personal and political awakening of a young gay black man in 1980s New York City, from the television drama writer and producer of The Chi. I'm not sure, I haven't heard of that show. Narcos, which we know, Love, and Bel Air, which I am fascinated by. Bel Air, does it come on TV or do I need a streaming service? It's Paramount, right? Which I don't have, so I don't know, but I've seen commercials for it and I think it looks really good. So that's what this book's about, and I love the pink and black. Like I love that color combo, so really love this cover. Might be one of my favorite covers of the year, but this was one of my anticipated books, so it came out this week, but I didn't get it till today, because then I realized like the day it came out, I was like, ooh, I need to order that. Y'all, this plot twist. So I just got done for reading like 3 hours straight, a little like more like 2.5. Page 377 now, part 5. I'm shook. I'm very shook. So I have like 20 more pages to read today in here to get to 93 pages read in a day. Like, oh my gosh. So in these chapters that I've read today, Bethy is really annoying me now. Yes, very relatable and probably really realistic. I don't know, because I don't know having sisters, but I just feel like she's trying to control Joe's life too much. I don't know. She's been annoying me. And I've always preferred Joe's chapters as it is, but still, I'm like, stop trying to control somebody's life that isn't your own. But yeah, there's my update. So we've gotten to my goal of the day, which was page 398, which is 85%, but I still have an hour of reading time before I go and watch Stranger Things, so I'm still going to read. I had that much left of the book. I don't know if we'll finish it or not. I don't think we'll finish it today, but you never know. There's like 66 pages left, like 68 pages left, so it could happen. Just watched episode 7 of season 4 Stranger Things, and like the plot twist at the end, like the last 30 minutes, so good. Great villain building. I'm gonna say it's great, but yeah, I think there's better villain backstories, but that's still phenomenal. They did like all that in one episode basically, so that was pretty cool. My dad thought it was awesome. So we are going to get back into this. I am going to attempt to read 50 pages and finish this tonight, so I'm probably not going to get a shower. Disgusting, I know, but I will get one like tomorrow, so don't worry. But I just really want to finish this book and get it all finished in one vlog for y'all, just because I have liked how I've been doing that. So I am going to get into reading now. It's 8:48. I'm emotional. I just finished the book. Yeah, this was very good. It's like 4.5, but in Goodreads I'm going to put that as a 4-star, just because 5-star very special. But yeah, this was really good. Highly recommend. But again, trigger warnings, so I'm not going to do my review here, but my review will be in Tuesday's video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!